It's the Vibe Kage coming to you with another what if. Still trying to get ready for work right now. So, yeah. Anyway, let's try this one. What if Iroh trained Izuku? Or trained. Yeah, no, I had it right. How this works is okay, so Izuku clearly inherited his parents' quirks. The perfect combination: fire breathing, fire manipulation, fire conjuration, controlling it in multiple ways, and then something unique. And that is, his mom's telekinesis. You know, it's a lot stronger. So, pretty much think of Almighty Push and Universal Pull type shit, and added with firebending. Yay! How does this work? Well, one day when Izuku is 4 years old, this fox that intrigued him, he was off camping. Him and his parents are, they're doing well. And well, something happened. Izuku walked away, followed the fox. Within the fox, deeper in the forest, Izuku kept on running and running and running and running. Eventually they go in, and behold, he's in the spirit realm, which now he can't go back right now. Which, here's what's gonna be strange. So Izuku would spend the next quote-unquote 2 months, which in the real world, 2 days, which keep that in mind, 1 day, 1 month. So Izuku travels, meets this old man who was with the fox. The old man introduces himself, offers tea to Izuku. Izuku drinks the tea because, he was surprised. It's been 2 months since he's been lost in here, and he's not hungry whatsoever. He gets thirsty, but not really hungry. And he notices that his quirk is really different here. It seems like fire just is more easier for him to produce more. It's very calming here, he mentions. Now, keep in mind, this Izuku wouldn't be a shy, timid kid. This is a kid who has a, combination of pyrokinesis and telekinesis. So, not really struggling with confidence. And, something else that I want to add, something that Iroh noticed. Fuck. Oh, fuck. My lungs collapsing on itself. I die. Anyway, back to the what if. Iroh notices that Izuku, and yes, for the sake of convenience and plot, Izuku is a descendant of Zuko and the royal family. Now, what happened to the Avatar, you may ask? Died in the Avatar cycle. Oh, anticlimactic. Yeah, Korra's not the only one who fucked up. But that's fine. We're reaching a level where benders and quirks just kind of started to mutate into their own self. 3 generations later, benders, quirked people, because spirits would possess them. It all kind of just started to mutate and amalgamate into its own self. And thus the spirit world natural portals started to disappear and just rifts throughout the spirit world. Majority of the time, people can't really enter unless they have high spiritual energy. Similar to if they were, related to someone who had high spiritual energy. In this case would be Zuko. Or, further along the line, that means Izuku is a direct descendant of, you guessed it, Avatar Roku. And Iroh realizes that Izuku's pretty much, not the Avatar, but, descendant of one of the Avatars, so let's train him with everything with fire. So, Izuku would spend the next, for him, 12 months, which, a year for him, but in reality it's only been 2 weeks in the outside world. And not Naruto, but Izuku had learned how to, pretty much the dance of the dragon, Iroh's breath fighting style, everything, the basics of firebending, and something unique. Not Naruto, fuck. Iroh took Izuku to a lion turtle. The lion turtle then awakened the fire chi that is within Izuku. Now, his fire chakra and chi, unique as fuck, because on his palms, something unique changed. Mac Miller, yes, I love Mac Miller. Anyway, so his eyes now have the combustion eyes, like the third eye mark, but on their palms. Now, how this works is going to be slightly different. Mostly because, well, each explosion will have its own different effect. Similar to how, Killer Queens and other explosive stand ones, one palm is pretty much, he imbues his chi into it, and it explodes later when Izuku wants it to. The other one would be just the straight explosion palm blasts. So it's like he's shooting the explosions from one hand, and then the other hand, he just like is making a landmine. Killer Queen has already turned it into a boom. Yeah, shit like that. But not Killer Queen, just Izuku with his combustion bending chi. He also would pick up lightning bending from Iroh, and then something very unique after he, appeased the dragons, is that the dragons gifted him with the rainbow chi flames. When not Naruto, fuck. When Izuku enters, the zone in a sense of, chi and chakra throughout all of his body, his own avatar state without actually avatar state, his firebender enlightenment with all chakra paths open, no stress whatsoever. His flames, rather than turn a simple blue like how Azula's would have been, now he's shooting out rainbow flames, easily controlling them and manipulating them. And then his psychic powers, did grow ever so slightly. But overall, in this 1 year, Izuku pretty much, didn't really age much either. He's noticing that. Like, he doesn't really age much, but a year had passed. Iroh chuckles as he tells him, it's just the rift that Izuku came in. It just opens every 2 weeks in the real world. For him, it's just been 14 months total. Izuku thinks about it and says, yeah, technically. He looks at his fox as the fox nods, as, it tells you, it's like suggesting for Izuku to follow it. Izuku's confused at first until Iroh explains, the portal to go home is open, Izuku. You can go. You can come back whenever, too. Just note, it only opens every 2 weeks. Keep note of this day. I hope to see you again. And don't forget to brew some tea. It is very good for calming the mind. I feel like I'm starting to sound more Russian than old man trying to give wisdom, so I'm gonna just stop. So, also that kind of does feel weird. So, that being said, Izuku leaves Iroh happy with the students' training, and Izuku goes off. He returns 2 weeks later from the forest. There's happens to be someone there. Someone who Izuku would run into, who, he'll end up going to UA with. And this is the start of their ship. And it is this one girl, and she too has this special fire quirk. Now, I am changing something very, very fucking different, and that is, how the Todoroki family is set up, and that is Dabi, or Toya Todoroki, was actually Shoto Todoroki's twin sister. Ta-da! But, she's born with her mom's white hair. Now, she does have patches of, her dad's red flames too. Not red flames, but red hair throughout her hair. But not too much. Similar to her sister Fuyumi. Now, her quirk is not the same cremation like how it would have been back in, the canon, because that would have made her too much like Azula, and I don't want that. So, rather than all that bullshit, we're just gonna have it where she's pretty much our, waterbender with high pressure healing, because Rei's family happens to be, the ones who run Oh, I got my back to pop again. Back. I'm back. I'm alive. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Rei's family pretty much is Katara's family's ancestors. So, kids of Aang, a Avatar relation, Avatar relation. Now, that's how that works. So, it's kind of weird. It's like they're both not, and they are from the same family since, similar ancestor, but not the same ancestor. Since it's weird as fuck, but reincarnations is a bitch. Especially because reincarnation was technically the soul, but not the body. So, weird shit aside, and, jokes aside, Izuku's gonna be dating Toya, Todoroki, and her water and ice abilities are just fucking unique. Surprising everyone is something unique about her water is that, when she focuses her mind to it, she can accelerate the temperature, turning it into steam. How waterbenders had the ability to create steam from water. So, yeah, and then she can manipulate the steam, the fog, everything. Eventually she'll learn how to heal, but that's just something, Izuku's gonna have to teach her by accessing chi, since she doesn't know that yet. But she will have a high amount of chi compared to everyone else. Now, continuing on, Izuku would meet Toya. Toya looks at Izuku weirdly because, guy just came out of a forest where no one was just in there. A fox yips over at Izuku. Izuku, waves him off as the fox disappears. She looks at Izuku and then she's just like, wait a minute. She pulls up her phone as, she's calling. As, Izuku's just like, huh? He's about to step away. She's just like, pulling, like, to Izuku, he's just like, wait a minute. Hold up. I just came out of a park, and this woman just telling me to hold up, pulls up a phone, won't let me leave. I feel like this is a dangerous situation. What is going on? Now, jokes aside, because, yeah, Toya's actually calling, her dad, asking about what was the name of the kid who disappeared, like 2 weeks ago. He looks it up on his files. It said Izuku Midoriya. Why? Well, I'm at the park, because training routine. I don't care, honestly, but why? She's just saying, hold up, bitch. Wait, what you call me? I said, hold up, dad. No, that's not what you said. I go like, whatever, loudmouth. What did you say? Just like, hey, what's your name? Izuku Midoriya. Hey, dad. Yeah, no, he's right in front of me. What? Yeah, no. That Izuku Midoriya, he's like right in front of me. Like, weirdly enough, similar to the place where he quote unquote disappeared. Huh. She puts her phone down again. Hey, Izuku? Yeah. He's just like, yeah. So, would you like to go home? Izuku's just like, I was kind of planning on it. I'm pretty sure my mom's gonna kill me. She chuckles as she's just like, oh boy. Mama's boy. Izuku's just like, the fuck? She's just like, nothing. She hangs up the phone as she's just like, come on, I'll show you the way out. Izuku, he's in the same attire as the thumbnail, so he's just in like pants and like simple shoes. So he's just walking. She glances at Izuku and she's just like, dear God, what is with this kid's body? Why is he so like trained and toned? Izuku, he's casually just walking, not really minding anything. Now, where this changes is, Izuku gets outside, not outside, but he gets to the, just outside to the, damn it. He arrives to the, I just had the name, because they were camping too. Forest Ranger Station, fuck. Anyway, back to the what if. As they arrive there, they grab a phone. Izuku calls Inko. They get Izuku some clothes, an actual shirt, some new pants, well, some shorts at least, because honey day and pants ain't doing you justice. Which, Izuku's just like, oh, he models, his new clothes around her, and for some reason Toya blushes, but she's just saying, yeah, they're fine. Izuku asks her what her quirk is, and she's just like, full water manipulation. She can even freeze it, and then, she tries hard, she can, turn it into steam and move that. Izuku says that's really cool. He was just surprised. He didn't think the first person he'd see would be his, opposite. She's just like, your opposite? Izuku chuckles as he's saying, yeah, I have a fire quirk. As then she remembers the report, yeah. And she's just like, like my dad. Izuku's just like, huh? She's just like, oh, it was nothing. Izuku's just like, well, I have a minute until my ride would get here, so why don't we get to know each other a little bit? She's just like, nice try, kid. I'm good. Have a good life. And, she just walks away. Izuku's kind of baffled, but, he's just there. Now, what does happen here is he does meet someone else. Now, this person is a guy who would help him be, friend. Now, this male friend, his new best bro of the series, since we're not going to go with the route of Katsuki, we're going to go with the route of someone else. Now, this guy would happen to be, my bad, someone who you could say also, happens to have some elemental powers. This guy is a wind user. Now, Inasa, the Gale Force hero, the one who would go to Shiketsu High because of Todoroki, he's there with Izuku. And the two from that point on kind of, get along. He mentions about his, air quirk, his wind manipulation, and Izuku, him and his fire. The two get along really well. They both kind of like heroes. And, well, yeah, as time skip, Izuku is going to go to the entrance exams. His friend got the recommendation, so he's just like, good for you, I'm going. And this other one. Now, this is where things are going to be different. Toya would be going to the entrance exams while Shoto is doing the recommendations. Which, for the sake of simplicity, Uraraka's the one who would trip, and Izuku was just like, gotcha. Quickly with just one arm would catch Uraraka, and Uraraka's just like, what the? As Izuku chuckles, saying, he almost tripped. He sets her down. She blushes crazily, as Izuku gives her a heartwarming smile and just would continue on. Now, Izuku, he wears gloves to hide the eye marks on his palms, because they would be slightly unnerving to some people. Now, this is where things get kind of unique. You see, as Izuku takes his test, he does a decent score. He gets a B. Not the smartest one, but, he's still up there in intelligence. It's just like, it's just more strategical. He gained wisdom, and this is just like knowledge he had to study, and he's just like, I don't wanna. I think we've all been there. So, yeah. Anyway, Izuku gets a decent score on the written exam. Now, recommendations end pretty much the same, but, it's with a slight bittersweetness that Inasa is not going to be attending to the same school as his friend. He would try and convince Izuku to go to Shiketsu, at least go to their testing exams, which, Izuku would agree to, but ultimately he would still go to UA when he gets his acceptance letter, and that he would also get an acceptance letter from Shiketsu, and he was torn for a second, but ultimately, their friendship survives Izuku going to UA, especially because the way he tells it, once a month, they'll fight, they'll have a bout, and depending on how it wins is, like, which school has the better training at the moment. also who was keeping up on their training. And that's when they would, review notes and help each other grow. Whatever one learned and the other one didn't know, they would toss at each other and, back and forth. Now, for the actual robot fights, you see Izuku, who, keep in mind, at this point, he has mastered lightning bending, combustion bending, and fire bending. Now, he's also gotten to the state where he's unlocked all of his chakra paths, and he can maintain that state for about 3 minutes. So that's where he shoots out his rainbow flames. Now, he can stay in there consecutively, or he can turn it on and off, but it would still wear him down over time. So, during his participation during his run, he would be in the same place as Toya. Toya and him. Yeah, I'm gonna change it from Toya to Toya because it's probably easier and it sounds more feminine. So, Toya Todoroki, which is Toya Todoroki, the two go off, and wow, I could have made her keep her red hair then, but no, then she would have had a sound quirk, which doesn't make any sense. Staying with Toya. Anyway, back to the what if. As Izuku and Toya find themselves at the same testing grounds, Izuku laughs as, the two are talking. Now, here's where something's gonna change. It was Iroh who wanted to go to talk to Izuku, thank him for saving her, and also, she felt uncomfortable that Izuku was already chumming with some other bitch. So she would try and go up to them, but this would be where Ida tells him, like, well, you can't go up to them, they're having a conversation, that would be rude, and you don't even know them, blah, 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 blah. Iroh is being caught lacking, and she's getting yelled at, and people are, like, looking at her weirdly. As, soon, Izuku just, stands right next to Ida, places a hand on his back, as he's saying, chill, dude, no need to blow a gasket. As, Ida's just like, the fuck? Izuku looks at Iroh and he's saying, oh, I get it, you didn't get a chance to say thanks, and now you see me here, and you're like, oh, might as well, wish him luck and say thank you, right? Iroh just nods, frantically as Izuku chuckles, saying, I thought so. As, he's saying, Izuku, Midoriya, he points over as, he's saying that's his friend Toya, and, if you want, we're just right there. After this exam is over, we can talk more. Till then, good luck. And Izuku would walk away. Iroh, who didn't get to say a word, is just like, yeah, sure. Ida is just like, I got upstaged. Man just stole my thunder. Now, during the robots, it's very unique, especially because, from Izuku's left palm is where he shoots the explosions, and it's just him going like, yeah, sticking out his palm, and then like, explosion. However, with his right palm, anything he touches is just like, explode. Explode. I love this song. Won't be long till you see my face. I'm coming to the rescue. Take my hand and hurt you. It's the least that I can do. 'Cause we're blood. I know, I can't sing for Dick. I'm like sick as fuck too, so oh well. Now, Naruto, fuck you, Naruto, goddamn. Izuku, Toya, the two are pretty much having a fun competition. Now, Izuku makes a simple joke, if he wins, Toya tells Izuku, the phone number, and if, Toya gets more points, then, Izuku buys her whatever she wants. And, she's just like, I'm down with that. So, they go off, they have their competition, and Izuku would win. He's shooting out explosions and surprising everyone when he shoots out fire blasts. And they're like, oh, fire blast? So how's he doing the explosions? He's just like, sticks out his left palm and then boom. Sometimes he just, launching fire from his feet, going forward. And then he's just palm striking certain robots with his right arm, not right arm, but right hand, backflips, as then, sure enough, a few seconds later, there's a huge explosion from that robot. And it's just like, the fuck? Explosions and fire? Oh my. Oh, Izuku does some weird fingertip movements with his body around his body. Not bad, not bad. Now, what surprises everyone is Izuku then points at two different directions. His lightning shoots out of his fingertips, and they pierce three different robots. Two robots that were, near each other that at the right angle they just shot right through, causing them to, end. And then the other robot that was close to hitting someone. Now, everyone is surprised at how Izuku is using his quirk. And he moves so gracefully. It's like he's fighting with fire. Not fighting the fire, or using the fire to fight, but no, fighting with actual fire, like an actual dance, of martial art of some sort. And they were just captivated by Izuku's progress. Now, Izuku gets a decent score, in that 300 mark. No one else matched him. Until you got close with 190, which, she was exhausted after using a lot of water. So, yeah, she's tired, she's panting. When the zero pointer shows up, and it starts rumbling, shaking the city up, fucking people's shit, as, sure enough, a piece of rubble would pin her down. She screams out for help, no one's helping, but one person understands what's going on. He sees, his friend, and, he tries to enter, the zone for his firebending to be maxed out. But at the very last stage of, detachment, he caught a glimpse of Toya's face, as, sure enough, he realized something. He gotta let her go real quick to save her. And he's just like, can I do it? And then he looks up, sees the zero pointer about to actually crush her. So he's just like, well, fuck it, I don't even got a choice now. Either I mentally lose her, not mentally lose her. Either I mentally let her go, or I physically lose her. So, bursting forward, flames shooting off of his hands and feet. Man is becoming like a rocket, shooting himself towards the zero pointer. Zero pointer, scanners detect heat incoming, so it looks towards Izuku, turning itself just ever so slightly. Izuku takes a few deep breaths as he re-enters his mindscape. But not his mindscape, if you know what I mean. He awakens all 7 chakra networks, as, sure enough, he starts to spin in midair, as, sure enough, rainbow flames appear around Izuku, as Izuku yells, "Rainbow flaming drill bit!" as he smashes his hand into the zero pointer. The rainbow flames soon pushing forward, blasting through the zero pointer, incinerating its insides, melting it. People see and feel tremendous heat from his flames. Toya's eyes widen as she sees Izuku's power. And Izuku begins to fall from the sky. He's tired, a little bit overheated. As Toya, she sees Izuku about to hit the ground. So she's just like, no, damn it. As she looks around, and thank God, or thank Kami, fire hydrant. So she's just like, let's go. Water shoots out. She makes a quick aqua bed that shoots a water tentacle, wraps around Izuku's back and body, grabbing him as he falls into the pool of water. Splash, but no actual splat. And yeah, suspended in like water jello. She sighs as she passes out. Izuku falls from the water. He looks over. He sees Toya, and he's just like, oh, hell no. As, he gets up. Now, surprising everyone, he grabs the rubble with his right palm, lifts it like as hard as he can, really high, grabs Toya with his free arm, his left arm, jumped and seemingly did the dropkick motion, but then fire shot out of his feet and he was quickly sent back. As then, right as his right hand let go of the rubble, another explosion that gave him an extra boost away from the rubble. He's holding on to Toya with one arm, he's able to acrobatically flip himself, and and fire is coming from his feet as he's, holding himself in the air just ever so lightly, holding onto an unconscious Toya. He's panting heavily as, this is requiring a lot from him. Now, he goes to Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl checks Izuku. Izuku's just like, no physical damage, just used a lot of fire. I was overheating for a minute, but as soon as I fell into the water, I felt great. She must have controlled the temperature before she passed out. So, yeah. Now, things go really well. I don't want to go to work, but I have to go to work. I want to end the video now, too. I guess I can. Guys, don't hate. I just don't want to go to work, but I also don't want to, cut off, come back a few minutes later, but also forget what I talked about. Ultimately delete the video because I'm like, well, shit. So, no, let me just go a few more minutes and then I'll end the video. Now, here's where things change. You see, as, Izuku gets first place, and of course, Toya would give him his number, and that also kind of helped Izuku stay at UA since, hey, there's this one girl I like, bro. Oh, okay. Godspeed. Now, here's where things change drastically. You see, Izuku, Toya, the two have this unique connection. The fire-water duo seemingly... How can I put this? Complete each other. Now, she doesn't have daddy issues, and Izuku doesn't have mommy issues like that. It's just, Toya is aware that her dad is a bit overboard, and, the strain of a pro hero got to him, and, she wants to prove that she's going to be a good hero. Now, she doesn't have to be the number one hero, but she's going to be in the top 10. And, well, if she does get the number one hero spot, then, as the way things are, she'll achieve something that her father never could. And that's, just amazing. And, well, sure, she doesn't have his quirk, and the only thing he really has is his name, but that doesn't really matter to her. Her quirk is more or less her mom's ability, just changed a little. Izuku nods as, he feels. He would show his fire, but then she's confused about the explosions and the lightning. Then Izuku explains how, after learning some chi and combining it with his fire, he found two evolutions of it. The lightning, where he separates the energies and then causes it to clash forward, making the energies cackle with electricity, and then shoot forward. After that, he can't control it. He can direct it in a certain direction, but once he shoots out lightning, it's gone. But thanks to some similar, training methods by his sensei, that he can also redirect lightning if he wants to, or never needs to. So, that works. Since he knows how to harness chi within his body, it allowed his quirk to evolve ever so slightly, but not really evolve. More like new facets of his quirk was awakened. Sure enough, she'll ask about chi, and Izuku would actually train her to the best of his capabilities of chi, and this is how she would, learn about water bending and healing. Which, yeah, it'll kind of be a buff, and Todoroki won't really be open to this, but I feel like that works. And since I have to go to work now, I'm sorry guys, this video is short. I'll come back to it later. I have other things planned as well. I don't know what to do for an 11K special, but I'll make a poll or something. Good night, everyone.